cameras. Take 3. Hey everyone, the Roads Here Suck here with Girlfriend Unit coming at you. Today is March 22nd, 2020.
Day 5.
Yeah, day 6 of voluntary social distancing.
Day 6?
Yeah. What was it?
Oh my god.
Who are already losing track of time? Today is going to be just a bit of a channel update. So I'm going to hit you with the news first, and then going to start talking about like things in general, I guess. It's going to be like, you know, my situation, the channel situation, politics, coronavirus. So if you guys just want the news, I'll be straight up. The Roads Here Suck dashcam episodes are going to be slowing down, and they're going to be a lot less frequent. So there's going to be, instead of, you know, one episode of dashcam stuff on Monday and one episode of other stuff on Fridays, it's likely going to be one episode of stuff on Fridays, maybe, I don't know, once every 2 weeks. Also upload something from the GoPro or whatever on Monday as well. So there's that. So here's the current situation. Normally, due to the anonymous-ish nature of this channel, I don't like delving into my personal life too much. But, you know, there's 2,100 of you that, you know, I feel like it's time you guys deserve to know. Currently, I'm a college student. I work seasonally in New York City as a bread distributor. I won't mention any company names or anything like that, but that's what I was doing up until about this Christmas. Because it was seasonal, so like whenever I didn't have classes, I would go to work and work, I don't know, 7 days a week for 4 months straight, voluntarily, of course. This is something I took on myself. And last Christmas was the last season, because this May I anticipated graduating and then going into the Air Force. So, you know, I told my boss it's been a wonderful time, it's been a lot of fun, but it's time to move on. A lot of my dashcam clips came from New York City, because that's where I was a lot of the time. And, you know, if I worked the summer, I would have material up until, you know, half a year from now. If I uploaded 8-minute videos once a week from the dashcam, I would have material that would go on for like like a build-up, I guess, and I could just schedule it. So it'd be like on, like, so like if you guys were my little fishies and my YouTube channel was an aquarium, you guys would be on like little automatic fish feeder mode for like half a year.
Such a weird analogy.
And the GoPro stuff was always off the cuff, as whenever I had an idea for, I don't know, whatever it would be, that's just when I would go with it. And of course I would try to just go put it on Fridays, I guess, so schedule it for Fridays, but those videos would be generally current, whereas the dashcam stuff was up to half a year delayed, but now, well, basically is current day, if that makes sense at all. I basically caught up with myself with the scheduling because of the lack of driving for bread delivery, and because of the coronavirus going on, lack of driving in general now. So that's going to take a hit, the dashcam uploads, which leads me to the GoPro uploads. There has been some sort of a spike in viewership in my channel, which implies that, you know, maybe a lot of you have a lot more free time. God forbid you lost your jobs, but, you know, maybe made to stay at home and are now watching YouTube videos. I kind of see this, and it's kind of making me scratch my head like, holy shit, there's a lot of people stuck at home who might be very, very bored. And, you know, we're going to do our best to try to kind of keep content flowing. So, you know, this GoPro stuff, although it's off the cuff, we're still going to try to pump out a video at least once a week just for you guys. Now, I can't just make things and dump them right away, because I would run out of things pretty quick, but, you know, I'm going to try to make sure that I have something for you guys every Friday. And of course, if I don't have a dashcam episode, then maybe once every 2 Mondays I'll also drop something from the GoPro as well. Just to keep you guys that much happier, I guess. As things stand, right now I just uploaded the 205,000 mile oil change, and that went live on Friday. Today is Saturday. Monday there is going to be one more The Roads Here Suck episode, and that's going to be the most recent dashcam episode. And like I said, since I'm not in New York City, and since I'm not working bread delivery anymore, and since in Pennsylvania we're social distancing voluntarily, that's going to be a challenge, the dash cam episodes, that is. But we'll try our best to keep content going. In the meantime, if you guys are hungry for content, on my channel I have playlists. So, you know, my channel is car themed, so, you know, driving, so the dash cam episodes, or maintenance work and stuff like that, or like drive-throughs, things in general. You'll be able to go on my channel and you'll be able to see a list of playlists, and that will better help you find something that you'd be more interested in, I think. There are also other YouTubers that could interest you. Off the top of my head, if you like dash cam stuff, check out, trying to name this off the top of my head ain't easy, but Bad Drivers in Napa Valley is now called Bad Drivers Caught on Camera or something like that. I believe his channel icon is still like a little grape and a little wine. He's a great dash camera. You guys should check him out. Bad Drivers of Austin, his little profile picture is like a frog person thing. You guys should check that out as well. I believe Driving Mistakes in SoCal is a good one as well. And of course, a lot of them are just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Bad Drivers Northeast or New Jersey or something like. I'm really bad with the names, especially since a lot of the channels changed up their names a bit over the past year or two. But plenty good dash cam channels to watch. The dash cam community is awesome. You guys should definitely check out their videos. Let's see, as far as other YouTube channels go, recently we've been binge watching. So I've been watching Brew, extra credits like for history, history that deserves to be remembered, exploring stamps. So I collect postage stamps for fun. PewDiePie, of course, especially since he's been playing that like aquatic game in Minecraft and stuff. Those are fun to watch. Oh, here's a good one, 3D Maker Bot. So he takes, so this is one that we've discovered like 2 days ago. He takes like little Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars, and he pretends it's like an actual race. It's worth checking out. It's kind of amusing to watch.
He sets up a little, like, the surrounding area of the grass and little people. And
right, like he 3D prints a whole set, and he makes the cars run rounds, and he pretends he's a narrator, narrating an actual rally. The commentary
is legit.
The commentary is good. Yeah, I got slow-mo cams and everything.
They don't acknowledge that it's fake, like tiny cars. They have like the car noises, and it's great.
Right, it's a lot of fun. It's as if you took a childish playtime activity and turned it into like an adult like event. Like it's awesome. It's pretty cool. What YouTube channels do you watch recently?
I watch all I'm like the stereotypical girl. I watch all the beauty gurus and the lifestyle stuff. I'm a fan of BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed Unsolved I really like, whether or not you believe in anything creepy. They have true crime as well, and their commentary is freaking hilarious. I mean, I've showed you some of their stuff. You find them funny. Not necessarily like, you don't believe in any of that, but you find them funny.
It's funny to point and laugh at, yeah.
If you search up Sophia Nygaard, she used to be a BuzzFeed person, but then left BuzzFeed. Her husband Tyler has a channel. They're really funny together.
So there are some ideas for your quarantine YouTube viewership stuff.
I don't think they should watch Jeffree Star. I don't think they'll like it.
So there you go. Some TV for you guys.
Like, I have ideas, but they all line up with the stereotypical, like, beauty side of YouTube. Like, I could do your makeup.
Maybe you should make...
I could do your makeup.
Okay.
Would you be willing to do that on camera? Would you bake your face?
You know what? I don't know. I'm trying to think of my viewership, my likes, and all that stuff.
You can put it on my channel.
I don't want to make an impossible goal. I don't want to make an impossible goal, but I don't want to make it too easy either. So let's say, I don't know. This is a regular video, probably won't get a lot of views. So let's just say 20 likes, and she'll do my makeup and I'll put it on the channel.
Where to do your nails? Do you want to go to Polish Mountain? Simply Nailogical. That's another great channel.
Alright, Coronavirus Quarantine Challenge. If this video gets 20 likes, she'll do my makeup and I'll put it on my channel. If we get 40 likes, she'll do my nails. If we get 60 likes,
Full makeover.
It's gonna be Polish Mountain, which is like 80 layers of nail polish on my nails.
I got to 50 the other night.
50. There you go.
It was on me.
So if you guys want to see me get, you know, plastered and shit, you know, it's not car related, but it is immediate entertainment. It is a sacrifice I am willing to make to keep you guys happy. Yeah, and you know, as far as YouTube stuff goes, a lot of YouTubers have whole camera crews and editing skills and all that stuff. So if they were like street performers, they could juggle. I can't juggle, but I will certainly stand and try to entertain you guys the best that I can. As far as life in general goes, you know, last week I had a break from college. It was like spring break, so you know, I stopped by New York City, did some work to my car, chilled out for a little bit, lounged out. And, you know, that's when the whole coronavirus thing started kind of speeding up. It was like, you know, 5 cases in the city, 8 cases, 12 cases, and I was like, you know what? By the time these people start taking public transportation and start going everywhere, it's gonna be like it's gonna get ugly. So I decided Sunday, you know, time to leave, especially since it was also time to go back for school. They did decide to cancel college classes up till April 6th for my college. So, you know, there was no rush to come back, but I was like, you know, I should get back, get things ready. These were online courses, but my only course right now is a senior project that's very hands-on. So when they close campus, there's nothing that I can do. So I'd be like, you know, I'd get home, I'll sit down to April 6th, communicate with my group, see what's going on, and then it's time to get back to life to normal and all that stuff like that. I get back from New York City before it got bad, and then it started getting bad, and by getting bad, I mean it got way out of hand. People were panic buying everything in the stores. I mean, that was going on since Sunday.
They're doing that around here too.
Yeah, I'll get to that. Around Saturday or Sunday, people started panic buying in New York City to the point where it was difficult to find things. Like, people in Costco were brawling over bread. Shelves of chickens were like emptied and all that stuff. And you gotta sit down and think like, these people are stupid as hell. Like, if they buy like 5 cases of toilet paper, one, they're not gonna get through all of that for the next like year and a half, right? 2, the people that need it, like people doing regular groceries, are seeing that, and they are like forced to buy it so that they have it, or it's just a domino effect of panic buying.
There's no thought process behind, if I take only what I need, the next person can and should do the same.
Right, it's just people panic buying, and then the people who are left with families to take care of and stuff like that are forced to buy things out of anticipation of a lack of it, and then suddenly there's an actual lack of it. Like, New York City stores are, you know, fucking pummeled up the ass. Like, everybody's fucked. At least that was the situation, you know, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe the panic buying already calmed down over there. But I think it's also stupid, especially since a lot of these people are buying really basic necessities like rubber gloves, surgical masks.
And that's not going to help you unless you're already sick.
Exactly. For a stroll outside, surgical masks are fucking stupid. I'm sorry, look at me. They're fucking stupid.
The way they're built is to prevent germs coming out of you. So, like, the protection is going this way, not coming this way.
Right. The coronavirus thing is not an airborne mist coming all over the streets of New York City. No, it's like if somebody talks to you, coughs on you, sneezes on you. Yeah, but that's when a mask helps. When you're sick, it helps you prevent or mitigate transmission. When you're not sick, and if you're just walking outside doing your thing, you buying cases of masks just robs other people the opportunity to wear them. Like, people who are working law enforcement or in the medical field, or people who are sick, or people who are caring for somebody who's sick. Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to name any people or any specific cases because of patient confidentiality and all that stuff, but it's not uncommon for hospitals in Brooklyn, for medical staff, to be reusing these masks days at a time even resorting to lathering like sanitizer on these masks to try and, you know, like you breathe that shit in and it's nasty and it's horrible for you, but at least it kills some germs. Like, their situation is desperate because you fuckers are going out there buying masks so you can wear it in the street looking cool or something.
I mean,
I just don't understand.
We had to do an emergency grocery run the other day for something stupid and cookies. And this was, you know, they have already shut things down, but it's not a shelter in place yet. We're just trying to avoid being too close to everybody, grabbing what we needed, but we were in line checking out, and this girl behind us was on the phone. And I don't like to say bad things about people, but this person did not seem the smartest. And I kid you not, we both overhear this girl go, "Oh my God, they found a coronavirus in a town nearby. And should I buy some masks?"
Right, just so...
I just wanted to turn around and just kind of give her that look, like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
They found a coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
That's the exact word she used.
Yeah. But there's a lot of idiots in New York City. A lot. I mean, a lot. Just disillusioned, panicking people. Everybody just thinks for themselves, I guess. The general public is gobbling up these masks and supplies without a second's thought for, you know... Look, everybody's trying to prepare to potentially isolate themselves for 2 weeks to a month. And the idea behind this is to mitigate the spread of the disease or catching the disease. But in reality, if people were just cautious and courteous, instead of panicking, and if people just, you know, bought groceries like regular people, all the stores would still have all their shit. Stores don't close and won't close in the near future. The essential stores, that is. It would avoid large swarms and crowds in stores, which would avoid the further spread of disease.
And one of my biggest problems is, even though we're not at shelter in place here, everything but not essential is shut down. But what bothered me was the store I work for, I work in retail. When it was actually last Monday, I was on the way to work and he texted me or called me saying, like, I just saw Governor Wolf mandated that non-essential shut down, like, make sure you're still going into work. I did get there. They hadn't gotten the go-ahead from company yet to shut down. And we were all thinking, so once I got there, my store manager got off the phone with whoever she was talking to and said that we have been given instruction. The store only shuts down if the mall we are in shuts down. So we were anticipating, they called the mall or whoever they needed to. The people owning said mall were in a meeting trying to figure out, do they want to shut down, what to do. So we were expecting, okay, I got there at 4, we should be out here by 6 o'clock at the latest. They're going to shut down, everything else is shutting down, multiple malls have already shut down. Nope. We go to 8, which is our new closing time because the company did cut back hours. Nothing, still nothing. So the employees I was working with, my other managers, we were all very upset because, like, one of the specific people I work with has a family member who has a really bad immune system because of a health condition. What if somebody comes in, exposes her, and she gets exposed to this family member? It's really upsetting to think about. And considering we're a retail store that does not have essential needs, I kid you not, everybody coming in on Monday were returning stuff. Like, I had a woman, we had somebody call right when I got there to make sure we were still open because she has to come in and get a sensor taken off of a shirt. Sometimes when they ship out of store, that's a thing we do, if you order it, it sometimes comes out of the store and not the distribution center. The person forgot to take the sensor off. Once she got there, she came to me and explained to me, it was a bralette. Not even a shirt, a bralette. She said, I ordered this at the beginning of the school year, and it had a tag on it. And I just wanted to, like, grab her by the shoulders and, like, then why are you picking now to bring it? Like, really? Like, you're so scared that everything's gonna shut down. Oh my gosh, I gotta do this and this and this. Like, a panic. Like, if you haven't taken the time to get that sensor off that article of clothing when you bought it, probably in August or September, you obviously don't want to wear that article of clothing so badly. Like, it was so frustrating, the amount of people, and the amount of people just coming in to shop and look around. We had a handful of people who were looking for something specific that they needed for something coming up, although granted that thing coming up is probably canceled at this point, but they needed something specific, wanted to get it before everything closed down, okay. But the amount of people who just came in to look around and like waste time, and the first thing I saw when I was walking into the mall was teenagers wearing masks, goofing around. Like, I overheard bits and pieces of their conversation. Like, they were definitely not sick, just doing it for the attention, for the clout or whatever they call it. And it can I curse?
Yeah.
It pissed me off. Like, I have to be here, you don't. And what the company had done is with with the shortened day, the cutback hours, we're only having about 3 people working each day, which is very minimal coverage. That's what they were going for. And because of the minimal coverage, only managers can really work. And since I have a management position, well, technically a sales lead, I have to work. So it's frustrating because, like, at that point we were forced to be there. So back to what I was saying, we were closed at 8. I did not come in on Tuesday because I was not scheduled. I was very happy about that, but I was very upset that the company hadn't shut down, because in our mind, well, I think it's a very valid opinion, it's a very irresponsible thing to stay open. But we were expecting the mall to shut down. We figured the company made that statement, that way stores in states where they haven't had cases yet don't have to shut down right away. They have a little bit more time. Because I do understand, they don't want to lose a ton of money, but profits should not be more important than the safety of your workers. So we all left that night very upset, very mad, because as the night went on and we got to closing time and there was still nothing from the mall, they would have come around and given us a memo that we were closing down. Nothing. We checked the website, they're still open. So we were very mad. The next day, though, I woke up to my group chat with the other store leaders going off. The company had decided to shut us down. So thankfully, the company I work for made the good decision, the right decision, smart decision, to shut all of the US and Canada stores down for the time being until the 27th, which I don't think is enough time. They might extend that. I hope they do, just because, again, it's not going to go away in a week and a half. They have made statements out that they will pay their associates for the time. I know there's a lot of anger because the only associates who were scheduled were all management positions. And people do need this money. But on the other hand, there were plenty of people who were okay with getting cut from the schedule. But now that they're shut down and paying the people who were on the schedule, I think a lot of people just want to try to milk it for money. But the company is paying the employees for what they were scheduled, which I think is a very nice thing. I'm glad I'm not losing my job for the time being. Where did I start all of this from?
People coming in and shopping.
Yeah, it was very frustrating. I mean, for goodness sakes, it's not essential.
The governor is begging people to stay home, and then these people
like,
who are now
asking people is not going to work.
Right,
so he had to shut everything down.
But you know, here in Pennsylvania, what initially happened was he asked people to stay home. Schools were closed, and a lot of people had so much free time they didn't know what to do, so they just went to the mall. Yeah.
Go waste time at the mall. And that's exactly what I said when I found out schools were shutting down. I said to you and I said to my mother, all the customers we have are going to be teenagers because they don't have anything to do, don't have to go to school, and people aren't going to be smart, because I hate to say it, but the area we live in, a lot of people, not everybody, a lot of people don't want to listen to anything unless it comes from Fox News. And I'm not saying that Fox News is bad. They're biased one way, just like CNN is biased the other way. But Fox News was trying not to freak out. I think some of the other media outlets were already like, oh my god, like they're freaking out. But Fox was like, it's okay, calm down. But with this all happening, just people around here don't like to listen to facts. The fact of the matter is, this is dangerous. It spreads very quickly. we need to protect each other. And they don't want to listen to that. So we had to forcibly shut everything down. But the last Saturday I worked was all teenagers. Our numbers were horrible. The company I work for makes us track numbers throughout the day. And if you don't have like a high enough conversion, which is the amount of transactions versus the amount of customers you have walking in and out, like we count that. There are little things at the door to count when you walk in and when you walk out. And if your conversion isn't above a certain percentage, you get in trouble. If you don't make a certain amount of money, you get in trouble. And it's very frustrating when, like, there's days where you're just gonna have bad numbers and there's nothing you can do about it. You can try your hardest, you can talk to everybody. Customer service is a big thing for the company I work for. But some days it's just not enough. You just can't do it. But then days like that Saturday where it was all teenagers who, unfortunately, when it comes to retail, you can look at somebody right away and pretty much decide whether or not they're going to spend money. Or whether or not they're kind of, you can tell the people who are on the fence, like you could talk them into stuff. Like there's been plenty of times where I've been able to talk somebody. The jacket I'm wearing was an expensive jacket. Handed it to someone and she walked out with it. Sometimes like you can push people. I hate to say it, but that's just part of working in sales is you have to just kind of know what they like, see if they're open to buying, and get them to buy. But with teenagers who don't have money to begin with, you can't do that, obviously. And then a lot of them, because they know they aren't going to buy anything, they don't want you to talk to them, so then it's just hard. We're having hard numbers, it's frustrating. I'm glad the company made the smart decision to shut down for the time being. I hope they extend it further. I don't like not being able to work, because if they do extend it further, I don't know if we're going to get paid any amount of money, which thankfully I'm in a position where I don't have many bills to pay. I can go without a paycheck and not be hurt, but I know there's a lot of people who can't.
Little leech.
Oh, shut up. Okay, you can cut all of that out. I was ranting for so long.
Oh, don't worry about it. We promised them entertainment, so if they're really bored, they can listen to all of that.
You want entertainment? Here's 20 minutes of my girlfriend going off about nothing.
So with all these people panic buying things in New York City, you know, they're buying out the surgical masks and everything so that people who need it don't have it. And that eventually makes the whole quarantine thing even worse. It makes the epidemic worse, because if somebody is sick and they want to put on a mask but can't find any masks, well, guess who the fuck's gonna show up on the subway without a mask? Like, like these people who are so concerned for themselves are making the situation worse for the entire city. I was seeing this unfold and I thought, you know what, this place is fucked. So that's also another decision, like another point as to why I decided to leave early, because, you know, even though there were only 5 cases at the time, I fully knew this place was going to be fucked in a matter of days. Sure enough, the place is fucked.
Yeah,
New York City is currently the epicenter, the #1 in coronavirus cases. And at the last I checked on the whole JHU coronavirus map, they were at like 8,200 cases or something along those lines, with about 50 deaths.
They have their own bracket.
They have their own bracket, and they're basically
They're
raking in slightly more than a death per hour.
He's gonna do it. He's weaving in and out. Oh, there he goes. At least he used the turn signal. Oh, here comes this jackass.
We better keep away, because Mustangs have a habit of wrecking for no reason.
Yeah, because the people who drive them are idiots.
So here's where things stand currently. There's about 8,200 cases in New York City and 50 deaths. New York City the past day or two has been averaging about slightly over a death per hour. Pennsylvania, which is where we are, has 300 cases. When I got here, this place had maybe 5, maybe 3. That went up to 12. That went up to 150. That went up to about, 200 and 300. Not terrible, but there is a slight spread. And California, mind you, California is a state that takes up almost the entire west coast of the United States and only has about 1,200 cases. How can this be? Well, look, California, Pennsylvania, they all took action very early. California, I think last week, ordered residents to shelter in place, or San Francisco ordered residents to shelter in place. I think it was just San Francisco, I'm not sure. Pennsylvania, you know, even when there was just like 2 or 3 cases, they closed all the schools statewide. And then when they saw the count coming up even more, they asked all non-essential businesses to stop. When they saw the count going up, they shut down all non-essential businesses. Like, they clamped down on it, and they prevented the spread. In any cases, a lot of people are voluntarily social distancing as well.
Not enough.
I don't know, but a lot of people are. So, you know, states like Pennsylvania, California, I think Connecticut maybe, these states are taking a lot of action, which is slowing down the count substantially when you look at it like versus New York. Sure, New York recently amped up its testing capabilities and has, you know, New York City has a larger population density, but the fact of the matter is the time for the city to have taken all these actions was 2 weeks ago. They reacted far too late. They shot themselves in the foot, really, honestly. Mayor de Blasio, the one good thing that he did was he advocated for a shelter in place when he did. It came 2 weeks late, but better late than never. And you know, and he lost some time there squabbling with Cuomo. That was the one good thing he did. Everything else, he pretty much sat there with a thumb up his ass.
Yeah. Same with the government, though.
With closing schools and everything like that, you know, Cuomo had to come in and call most of the shots. And de Blasio was like, you know, nobody panic, this is not important. Oh, you know, I'm gonna ask businesses, some certain businesses to close, but I'm gonna go hit the gym afterwards. So like this guy orders businesses to close, then goes to the gym, touches all the sweaty, dirty workout equipment, then goes to work the next morning and shakes hands with people in his office. Like, clusterfuck. This moron.
Like the federal government as well was kind of like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, we're not too worried, like it's not in the country yet. And then it was, and they're like, it's fine. And then it got bad, they're like, oh crap. But they're doing stuff now, which is the important part.
Yes and no. We'll hold on to that thought for now. That took us a little bit longer than we anticipated, so it's dark outside. I do apologize for that. Let's see, what were we talking about? I guess we were talking about how California had about 1,200 cases, how New York has 8,000, how Pennsylvania has 300. California takes up most of the west side of the United States, most of the west coast. It just goes to show that a little bit of early preparation can really go a long way. You know, granted, 1,000 cases is still high on the high side, but you know, it hasn't exploded like New York's amount of cases, you know. And unfortunately, the biggest reason for this explosion was, you know, Mayor de Blasio. To an extent, Governor Cuomo. They really, you know, delayed everything and just had a thumb up their ass. I mean, Cuomo did a good job, more or less. He was trying to, you know, get all the schools closed and whatnot. De Blasio, the one good thing he did was he wanted to start a shelter in place, which is what they ended up doing anyway. They made New Yorkers shelter in place, but they refused to call it shelter in place because, oh, everybody will panic. I mean, they're right. People are fucking idiots over there with all the panic buying and people taking the subway. Listen, I'm not naming names or anything because, you know, there are confidentiality agreements and whatnot. But it's not uncommon for a patient, for example, to get out of his home and then take the train, to take the bus, to get to the hospital, to get a test for coronavirus, and then to get back on the bus, and to take the subway from the bus, and then get home, get notified that he's positive for the coronavirus, and then he, you know, takes the subway and the bus back to the hospital and back. And, you know, and of course without mask and gloves, because there are no mask and gloves.
Right bottom.
So in the end, even before this entire disaster, the city shot themselves in the foot prematurely by basically, you know, their whole by initializing or beginning their whole Vision Zero project. When they start taking away parking places, make traffic very slow, take away lanes in the roads, make speed cameras everywhere, put more traffic enforcement agents out there to collect tickets. When they make traffic as slow as possible, and they penalize drivers as much as possible, you get a lot of New Yorkers who just don't want to drive anymore. Plus, there's a general leftist, environmentalist attitude towards cars in New York. Like, you know, people would rather bike or take the public transports, which is fine. You know, I don't have anything against that decision, except New York is intentionally keeping its citizens locked up in New York City. This way, it keeps the money inside of New York City. These people don't ever really exit the state. Right, so since they don't have cars, you know, they don't really leave the city. They don't leave the state. They don't leave and see the country. I mean, yeah, maybe they might take a vacation here and there, but in all honesty, by removing a person's car, you remove their freedom pretty much. To a lot of you European folks, it's going to be hard to understand, but in the United States, you can hop in a car and go from Pennsylvania to New York, or New York to New Jersey, or you can plan a vacation with your family and hop in your car and go down to Florida.
Same in Europe, but you're crossing country lines.
Well, I mean, you know, in Europe it's a little bit different.
I don't understand what it's like just be able to be like, oh, let me go to Germany today and just like go.
Yes and no. I mean, it's a different country with a different language. By making it so difficult to drive in the city and making less people want to own cars, or charging people too much and making it prohibitively expensive to own cars, New York City has basically taken cars away from people and has made it so that people are solely reliant on either their bicycles or public transportation. Now, if somebody wants to get to the hospital, either they have, you know, take an ambulance, but why would they take an ambulance if they can get to the hospital regularly? So get to the hospital regularly using public transportation. This further spreads the virus. So people robbing people of, well, robbing. So by, you know, panic buying all the face masks, surgical masks, rubber gloves, people are helping to further spread the disease as a direct result of diseased people not being able to wear masks, but also because they're crowding stores, and also, you know, New York City is further spreading the disease because they insist on keeping the subway system open, and because so many people rely on the subway system because the city made it so prohibitive for inhabitants to have cars. I'm going on a little bit of a rant, but it's just very interesting to see how the politics are playing out. Some states took early action and are seeing, you know, a very, very slow decrease in coronavirus cases, whereas New York, pretty much everyone they fucking test is positive. It's very interesting how this played out. In the beginning, like when I was leaving from New York, there were like, I don't know, small, like a dozen cases, nobody cared. And it went from that point to 100 cases, 200, 500 cases. Everybody should just assume that they have it. It was literally like that. And I was like, God damn. And then, you know, the schools shutting down, the city shutting down, the restaurants shutting down, non-essential businesses shutting down, the shelter in place that they refuse to call shelter in place. I don't know. Over here in Pennsylvania, the attitude has been generally relaxed, but people are being rather serious about it at the same time. As Melissa was explaining earlier, there are some people that completely neglect the whole situation. But, you know, the governor said all non-essential businesses should close. Tom Wolfe was like, you know, please close, and a lot of businesses did. He saw that it wasn't, you know, stopping the spread of the disease, so he ordered, like, I don't know, was it 2 days ago? He basically ordered all non-essential businesses to close. Like, that wasn't optional anymore.
I think it was Thursday.
And of course, earlier on, like a week, 2 weeks ago, schools had already been closed, so he jumped on it. He really did. And, you know, huh?
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. He took good preventative measures, and, you know, people are starting to pay attention. People are starting to listen. But New York, for example, it's just spread so much to the point that it's just wild. I don't know. It's a little bit of a rant because I'm kind of pissed at how it's going on in New York. But, you know, always the politics and the ways people behave in New York City piss me off, and that's why I don't really live there. I love the city, but I just hate the culture, I guess. I don't know. It is what it is. So there was our little news update for you guys with, you know, what's going on with the channel, and then just some talk show type shit, I guess, where we just talk to you guys for a long time. So if you guys are bored, there's plenty for you to listen to, I guess, if you felt like it. So there's that. Girlfriend unit and I are headed home. I don't know. Yeah, we're tired. So I think we'll end the video right here. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope that you found it all right, despite us just babbling on for a long time. I hope we made some sort of sense. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you have a good one. Stay safe, stay entertained, and
Mwah.
we love you guys. Night night.
You wanna let me in your car. Ooh, you won't get far. Right then you're around me in your car.